Ford CEO just revealed their new water engine, and it is shaking the whole industry.
Well, we've never seen it before. In 80 years.
This is not just some pie-in-the-sky concept anymore. It is here. See, Ford has hit a few speed bumps on their electric vehicle journey, prompting them to find a solution. What did they do? A sharp turn towards a surprising new direction. Let me break it down for you. What's happening? Well, in a recent announcement, Farley revealed that Ford has developed a groundbreaking new technology that could turn the electric vehicle market on its head, a game-changing water engine. Now, I know what you're thinking. Water engine? Isn't that just a fancy term for a hydrogen-powered car? Well, hold on to your seats, because this is so much more than that. Farley made it crystal clear that this isn't just an incremental improvement, but a true transformative innovation that could redefine the future of mobility as we know it. You see, the concept of a water-powered engine isn't exactly new, but it's always been plagued by challenges when it comes to energy efficiency and practical implementation. That is, until now. According to Farley, Ford has made some major advancements thanks to their proprietary technology. They figured out how to make this water-fueled wonder not just viable, but downright game-changing. Imagine a future where your car runs on good old water, straight from the tap instead of guzzling down precious fossil fuels or relying on those energy-hungry EV batteries. It's a vision of sustainability that could put even the most eco-friendly electric vehicles to shame. But why a sudden change when everyone is talking about electric vehicles? Why is this happening? Well, it seems Ford's electric vehicle efforts have faced some significant challenges, and they're looking to make a big splash in the market. Water engines could offer a more affordable and accessible alternative to traditional gas guzzlers and battery-powered rides. Plus, with the growing concerns about the environmental impact of electric vehicles, a water-powered engine could be the solution the world's been waiting for. You see, the existing electric vehicle infrastructure just isn't keeping up with the demand, and let's not forget the environmental issues surrounding battery production and disposal. Ford's looking to change the game with a water-powered engine that promises zero emissions without all the environmental baggage. Ford has been struggling to keep consumers charged up about their electric vehicle offerings. Back in October 2023, they had to put the brakes on a massive $12 billion investment in electric vehicle production. Why, you ask? Turns out, people just weren't willing to fork over the extra cash for those battery-powered beauties. It looks like the public's love affair with electric vehicles has been more like a lukewarm fling. But Ford's not one to let a little thing like consumer sentiment slow them down. They've been busy pivoting to a different kind of green, hybrid models, and it's paying off, with a 42% spike in hybrid sales in early 2024 compared to previous years. Guess the people have spoken, and they want a little bit of both gas and electric. But Ford's not content to just ride the hybrid wave. Nope, they've got their sights set on an even more revolutionary power source, water. That's right, the Blue Oval is working on developing a brand new water engine that could shake up the industry. And let's be honest, Ford's substantial investments in electric vehicle technology haven't exactly been paying off. The need to balance their traditional internal combustion engine business with the costly transition to electric mobility has been a real financial tightrope. With a water engine in the works, they might just find the sweet spot between profitability and sustainability. But how did a company as big as Ford fail in the electric vehicle industry? Price war. The electric vehicle market has become a veritable battleground, with major players like Tesla and BYD locked in a no-holds-barred price war. And let me tell you, the gloves are off, folks. It all started back in late 2022 when Tesla found itself facing a bit of a conundrum. Demand for their electric rides was starting to slow, and the competition from both legacy automakers and newcomers was heating up. So what did Elon and the gang do? They decided to take the gloves off and slash prices on some of their most popular models. I'm talking about a cool $2,000 off the sticker price of the Model Y, Model S, and Model X. Now, the starting prices are sitting pretty at $42,990, $72,990, and $77,990 respectively. Talk about a game changer, right? But here's the kicker. This move didn't just come out of the blue. Nope, it was a strategic response to a few key factors. First, there's the whole global economic situation, with rising interest rates and rampant inflation making consumers way more price conscious. And let's not forget about Tesla's stock price, which has taken a serious nosedive, plunging over 40% year to date. Ouch, that's got to sting. But here's the real zinger. Tesla's price cuts didn't just ruffle their own feathers. Oh no, they set off a chain reaction across the entire electric vehicle industry. As soon as the big guns at Tesla pulled the trigger, their competitors were forced to follow suit if they wanted to stay in the game. It's a classic case of survival of the cheapest, if you will. While the price war started with Tesla's aggressive slashing of prices, it seems the Chinese manufacturer BYD has decided to join the fray, and boy, are they coming out swinging. You see, BYD, that's short for Build Your Dreams, has been steadily making a name for itself in the electric vehicle space, and they're not about to let Elon and his crew have all the fun. Back in early 2023, they decided to take the gloves off and slash prices on some of their models by a whopping 20%. Talk about a game changer, right? But it's not just about the price cuts. Oh no, BYD's got a secret weapon up their sleeve. An entry-level model that's priced just under $10,000. Now that's not just a bargain, that's practically stealing. And the best part, it's allowing BYD to do the unthinkable. Surpass Tesla as the world's largest electric vehicle seller. Of course, this aggressive pricing strategy has only served to intensify the already fierce battle in the electric vehicle market, especially in BYD's home turf of China. I mean, with all the local manufacturers jockeying for position. It's like a Formula One race, but with way more electric motors and a whole lot less noise. As these industry giants wage their electric warfare, poor old Ford is finding itself caught in the crossfire. The pressure to match their rivals' rock-bottom prices is squeezing the company's profit margins and only serving to exacerbate the already staggering losses they're facing in their electric vehicle division. How bad is it? Let's break it down. The electric vehicle market is a veritable battleground, and Ford, that iconic American automaker, is right in the thick of it. They're swinging for the fences, slashing prices left and right in a desperate bid to keep up with the likes of Tesla and China's BYD. But as it turns out, this strategy is putting them in a world of hurt. Let's talk about the cold hard numbers, shall we? Ford is currently experiencing staggering losses in its electric vehicle division, with reports indicating they're losing a jaw-dropping $100,000 per vehicle sold. I mean, talk about a money pit. In the first quarter of 2024 alone, their Model E division racked up a total operating loss of $1.3 billion. That's around $132,000 for each of the 10,000 electric vehicles they managed to sell during that period. But wait, it gets worse. The financial pressures don't stop there. Ford's overall revenue has taken a nosedive, plummeting a whopping 84% compared to the previous year. Ouch, that's got to sting. It's like they're hemorrhaging cash and there's no tourniquet in sight. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what about their electric vehicle sales? Surely all these price cuts are paying off, right? Well, not quite. Despite some recent gains, Ford's overall electric vehicle performance has been, let's just say, less than stellar. They reported a 20% decline in wholesale units for their Model E division, which suggests the price cuts just aren't cutting it when it comes to stimulating demand. And let's not forget the broader picture. While Ford's electric vehicle sales did increase by 31% in July 2024, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to the 0.2% decline in their overall vehicle sales. It's like they're running on a treadmill, working up a sweat, but not actually going anywhere. But the real kicker is the competitive landscape. I mean, when you've got titans like Tesla and BYD slashing prices left and right, it's like Ford's caught in a vicious game of anything you can do, I can do cheaper. Their chief financial officer, John Lawler, put it best when he admitted that the last 12 to 18 months have been a never-ending downward spiral of declining revenue, offsetting any cost savings they might have managed to eke out. The first quarter of 2024, a time when Ford was already in the red, but boy, did they take it to a whole new level. Their losses per electric vehicle, a staggering $100,000. That's more than double the losses they were facing the previous year. And to top it all off, they recorded a whopping $1.3 billion operating loss for their electric vehicle and software division. Ouch, that's got to sting. But it doesn't end there. Oh no. As we dive deeper into their financial woes, the picture just keeps getting grimmer. In the second quarter of 2024, Ford lost a cool $1.1 billion on their Model E division, the same amount they lost a year earlier. And for the first half of the year, a jaw-dropping $2.5 billion in total losses for the Model E line. Now you might be thinking, okay, but surely they can't keep this up forever, right? Well, buckle up, because the worst is yet to come. Ford's projecting a loss between between $5 billion and $5.5 billion on their elect business for the full year of 24. That's a staggering amount of money, and it's almost enough to cancel out the $1.2 billion in Q2 profit they managed to eke out from their internal combustion engine vehicles. But Ford is not the only automaker who is facing the same challenge. Market conditions. In November of 2023, GM dropped a bombshell. They were slamming the brakes on their electric vehicle production. Wait, what? Didn't they just unveil a slew of shiny new electric models and promise to go all in on the green machine? Well, it turns out the reality of transitioning from good old internal combustion to battery-powered propulsion isn't as smooth as the marketing hype would have us believe. You see, GM is facing a perfect storm of challenges: supply chain snafus, battery availability issues, and perhaps most surprisingly, market demand that's just not keeping up with the hype. It's like they're trying to build a race car, but the parts keep falling off and the driver keeps getting stuck in traffic. The other automaker is Toyota, which has been forced to lower the prices on their electric models just to keep up with the competition. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially for a company that's built its reputation on delivering reliable, fuel-efficient vehicles. But in this rapidly evolving electric vehicle landscape, it's adapt or get left in the dust. And let's not forget, Toyota's not just any automaker, they're the hybrid pioneers, the kings of the alternative powertrain game. So when they start feeling the pinch of these pricing pressures, you know the competition must be fierce. Toyota's Chief Financial Officer Kenta Kon put it best when he acknowledged the challenges posed by this cutthroat market. But you know what they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get innovating. And that's exactly what Toyota's doing. In the ever-evolving landscape of sustainable mobility, two automotive giants are stepping up to the plate, and they're not just playing the electric game. Nope, General Motors and Toyota have got their sights set on a different clean energy solution: hydrogen fuel cells. Why is it a big deal? This innovative engine isn't just any old eco-friendly option. It's a revolution in sustainable transportation that's poised to rewrite the rules of the game. Let me explain. You see, the Energy Drive is no ordinary power plant. It's designed to use water, yep, that good old H2O, as its primary fuel source. But this isn't your average water-powered gimmick. It's a cutting-edge technology that's packed with performance and environmental benefits that are sure to have you doing a double take. Let's talk about the performance side of things. The Energy Drive engine incorporates some seriously advanced combustion chamber tech that optimizes the mixing of hydrogen and air. The result? A more complete combustion process that minimizes wasted energy and maximizes thermal efficiency. Translation: this baby is going to deliver the kind of power output that'll have you grinning from ear to ear, all while running on clean green hydrogen fuel. And don't worry, power-hungry gearheads, Ford's got your back. They've promised that the Energy Drive will deliver performance levels that are on par with those good old gasoline engines, so you can kiss goodbye to any notion of sacrificing performance for the sake of sustainability. With the Energy Drive, you're getting the best of both worlds. But the real deal? The environmental impact. When you fire up the Energy Drive, the only thing that comes out the tailpipe is good old water vapor. No greenhouse gases, no carbon footprint, just clean green mobility that's going to have the eco-warriors cheering from the rooftops. And here's the really exciting part. Ford's not just stopping at the engine itself. They've got big plans to make the Energy Drive as cost-effective and accessible as possible. Gone are the days of hydrogen fuel cells relying on expensive platinum-based catalysts. The Energy Drive is designed to slash manufacturing costs, paving the way for hydrogen-powered vehicles to become a viable option for the everyday consumer. But the cherry on top, Ford's teaming up with industry partners to establish a comprehensive hydrogen refueling network, making it easier than ever for drivers to embrace this clean, sustainable technology. It's a holistic approach that's got game changer written all over it. But how has this never been made? Let me take you back and tell you about the trail. Past trials. The water-powered car is a concept that's been dangled in front of our eyes for decades, taunting us with the promise of endless, eco-friendly mobility. But if there's one thing we've learned, it's that when it comes to harnessing the power of water, the road to success is paved with shattered dreams and broken promises. Take the case of Stanley Meyer, for instance. Back in the 1990s, this self-proclaimed genius was strutting around with his water fuel cell, claiming he'd found a way to split water into hydrogen and oxygen with barely any energy input. The media ate it up, and investors were practically lining up to throw their money at him. But the scientific community, they were skeptical from the very beginning. And you know what? They were right to be. Meyer's device was eventually exposed as nothing more than an elaborate fraud. But Meyer wasn't the only one trying to make a quick buck off the water-powered car dream. In the early 2000s, we had Genesis World Energy boasting about their magical energy extracting device, only to disappear without a trace, leaving a trail of defrauded investors in their wake. And then there was that whole Genepax debacle in 2006, where a Sri Lankan guy claimed he'd driven 190 miles on a meager 3 liters of water. Even the Prime Minister got in on the action, but surprise, surprise, the guy was promptly arrested for fraud. And just when you thought the water-powered Carsnake oil salesman had run out of steam, along comes Arianto Mel in 22, hawking his so-called Incuba device that could supposedly power motorcycles for 500 kilometers on a single liter of water. Naturally, the scientific community in Indonesia had none of it, quickly calling out his claims as blatant violations of the laws of physics. But you know what really gets me? It's not just the endless parade of defrauded investors and busted myths. It's the looming specter of the Hindenburg disaster that hangs over the whole idea of hydrogen-powered vehicles. I mean, come on, do we really want our family cars to have the same volatile reputation as that ill-fated airship? So, while the dream of a water-powered utopia might be captivating, the harsh reality is that it simply defies the basic principles of science. The laws of physics aren't just suggestions, folks. They're the immovable guardrails that keep our world from descending into complete chaos. And when it comes to extracting more energy from water than it takes to split those molecules apart, well, let's just say the math isn't adding up. So is there going to be a challenge for Ford? What are the problems? The energy drive is undoubtedly an engineering marvel, a revolution in sustainable transportation that has the potential to rewrite the rules of the game. But as with any groundbreaking technology, Ford is facing a few speed bumps on the road to bringing their innovative water engine to the masses. Let's start with the regulatory hurdles. You see, this isn't just any old engine. It's a game-changing piece of tech that's going to need to undergo some serious scrutiny before it can hit the streets. Regulatory bodies are going to be poring over reams of data, making sure that the energy drive doesn't introduce any new risks or safety concerns. It's a rigorous process, but one that's absolutely essential to ensuring the long-term viability of this revolutionary technology. And then there's the matter of consumer acceptance. Let's be real, the market's only just starting to wrap its head around the whole electric vehicle thing. Now, Ford's asking folks to make the leap to hydrogen combustion technology. It's a big ask, no doubt about it, but you know what they say, the best innovations are the ones that challenge the status quo. And that's exactly what the energy drive is doing. And let's not forget about the infrastructure piece of the puzzle. See, the energy drive is all well and good, but it's not gonna do much good if there's nowhere for folks to fill up their tanks, right? That's why Ford's working overtime to establish a robust network of hydrogen refueling stations, making it as easy and convenient as possible for drivers to embrace this clean green technology. So, while the energy drive may be a total game changer, it's not exactly a walk in the park for Ford. They've got their work cut out for them, navigating the regulatory minefield, winning over skeptical consumers, and building the infrastructure to support this revolutionary engine. So how do they plan to win over challenges? Let me break it down to you. What's their strategy? When it comes to the future of sustainable mobility, Ford is not playing around. With their revolutionary energy drive engine, they're not just dipping their toes into the world of hydrogen-powered vehicles. They're diving in head first, and they're determined to make a real splash. But here's the thing, they know that this isn't going to be a walk in the park. There are some serious challenges that Ford is going to have to overcome if they want to make the energy drive a true game changer. Lucky for us, these automotive innovators are up for the task. First and foremost, there's the matter of infrastructure. Let's be real, without a comprehensive network of hydrogen refueling stations, the energy drive is about as useful as a sports car without any gas stations. That's why Ford is teaming up with a whole host of industry partners, from energy companies to infrastructure developers, to build out this critical piece of the puzzle. They're on a mission to make hydrogen-powered vehicles just as convenient as their gas-guzzling counterparts, and they're not stopping until the job is done. But it's not just about the infrastructure, it's also about the cost. You see, one of the biggest hurdles that hydrogen technology has faced in the past is the high price tag. Well, Ford is taking that challenge head on, investing heavily in advancements in hydrogen production and storage. Their goal, to make hydrogen a fuel source that's not just clean and green, but also economically viable for the everyday consumer. And let's not forget about the collaborative partnerships. Ford knows that they can't do this all on their own. It's going to take a concerted effort effort from a wide range of stakeholders, from automakers to policymakers to energy providers. That's why they're committed to fostering these cross-industry collaborations, working together to overcome the barriers to widespread hydrogen adoption. But perhaps the most impressive part of Ford's energy drive strategy is their laser-sharp focus on performance optimization. These guys aren't just content to create a hydrogen-powered engine that checks the sustainability box. They want to blow the socks off traditional internal combustion engines and battery electric vehicles alike. And they're doing it with some seriously advanced tech, leveraging cutting-edge engine management systems and innovative combustion chamber designs to squeeze every last drop of power out of that clean-burning hydrogen fuel. Impact. So what does all of this mean for the future of transportation? Well, if Ford has their way, it's going to mean a whole lot of clean, green, and downright exhilarating driving. The Energy Drive is poised to rewrite the rules of the game, proving once and for all that sustainable mobility doesn't have to mean sacrificing performance. The hydro engine is a game-changing technology that's poised to flip the entire electric vehicle industry on its head. It's like going from flip phones to smartphones, a seismic shift that's going to leave Tesla and BYD scratching their heads. Imagine a world where you can refuel your car as easily as filling up a water bottle. No more frantically searching for charging stations or meticulously planning your road trips around where you can plug in your ride. With this water engine tech, you might as well start measuring your mileage in gallons instead of kilowatt hours. Talk about a refreshing change of pace. But it's not just the convenience factor that has us excited. This water-fueled marvel is also promising to outperform current electric vehicles in just about every way imaginable. We're talking acceleration, range, and reliability that puts even the most precise Swiss watch to shame. But here's the thing, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky fantasy. The technology behind these water-powered engines is real, and it's backed by some serious science. Sure, we've seen our fair share of snake oil salesmen try to cash in on the dream of perpetual motion. But this time, it's different. This is the future, and it's arriving a lot sooner than you might think. Now, what do you think? Could this water-powered revolution really change the game for good? Share your thoughts in the comments below.